If you have ever felt completely trapped by your circumstances, stuck in a situation where the walls feel like they are closing in and there is absolutely no way out, you aren't alone. In those moments, our mind plays a trick on us. It tells us that our resources are gone. It tells us that the problem is too big and we are too small. We call this hopelessness. But I want to offer you a different perspective today. I want us to look at a concept I call the MacGyver mindset. If you remember the old show, the hero was never the strongest person in the room. He didn't have superpowers. He just had an extraordinary ability to look at a paperclip, a stick of gum, and a battery and see a way out. Today, we are going to learn how to do that with your thoughts. We're going to talk about mental flexibility and how to use cognitive restructuring to find an open door where you currently only see a wall. Welcome back. Today, we are exploring how solution-focused therapy and the principles of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, can help us navigate through the fog of hopelessness. When we are in a crisis, our nervous system often shifts into what we call a dorsal vagal state. This is the shutdown response. It's a biological collapse where we feel numb, disconnected, and yes, hopeless. In this state, our window of tolerance shrinks. We lose access to our creativity. We lose access to our ability to problem solve. The goal of this video is to help you widen that window. We aren't going to ignore the difficulty of your situation. Instead, we are going to change how you interact with it. We are going to learn how to audit our internal resources, just like MacGyver in a locked room, and use them to build a path forward. To heal, we need to understand what happens to our perception when we feel hopeless. Imagine for a moment that you are trapped in a room. If your nervous system detects a life threat, it triggers a survival response. If you can't fight and you can't flee, you freeze. In this freeze state, your brain creates what we call tunnel vision. You stop seeing the options around you because your brain is hyper-focused solely on the danger. This is not a mindset failure, it is a safety mechanism. Your body is trying to protect you by conserving energy. But here's the challenge. When we look at the world through this lens of fear, we engage in what CBT calls cognitive distortions. We might catastrophize, assuming the worst possible outcome is guaranteed, or we might filter out the positive, ignoring any evidence that we are capable of coping. We start telling ourselves stories like, I will never get out of this, or I am broken beyond repair. And because our thoughts influence our nervous system, these stories keep us stuck in that shutdown state. It becomes a loop. We feel trapped, so we think trapped thoughts, which makes our body feel even more unsafe. To break this loop, we need to introduce a new element. We need to introduce mental flexibility. This is where the MacGyver analogy becomes so powerful. Think about the classic setup of that show. The hero is thrown into a high-stress environment. MacGyver engages in cognitive reframing. He doesn't look at a roll of duct tape and see office supplies. He looks at it and sees binding material. He doesn't see a discarded hose as trash. He sees a conduit for fuel. He strips the objects of their conventional labels and looks at their raw potential. In therapy, we do this with our thoughts and our circumstances. This is the heart of cognitive restructuring. When you are facing a crisis, perhaps a breakup, a job loss, or a period of deep depression, your brain labels the situation as the end. Reframing is the act of picking up that situation, turning it over in your hands and asking, is this strictly a disaster, or is there another way to view this? This isn't about toxic positivity. We aren't pretending the bomb isn't ticking. We are simply acknowledging that while the bomb is ticking, we also have a paperclip. For example, let's say you've lost a job. The hopeless thought is, I am a failure, I have no future. The MacGyver reframe might look like, I am currently without a role. This is scary. However, this also frees up 40 hours a week. What can I build with this time? You are teaching your body that even in the trap, you have agency. This brings us to solution-focused therapy. In traditional analysis, we might spend years asking, why am I in this locked room? And while understanding our past is vital, sometimes when we are in crisis, we don't need to know why the door is locked. We just need to know how to open it. Solution focused therapy asks, what is already working and what is the smallest step I can take right now? MacGyver never builds a jet plane out of a bicycle. He builds a small distraction. If you are feeling overwhelmed by hopelessness, I want you to try this. We call it the miracle question. If you woke up tomorrow and the heavy weight of hopelessness was just 5% lighter, what would be different? Would you get out of bed 5 minutes earlier? Would you drink a glass of water? These small actions are your paper clips and duct tape. Healing is usually a montage of very small, unglamorous moments where we choose to engage with the present moment. By focusing on solutions, you shift your nervous system. Let's try a technique right now. I want to invite you to do a resource audit. Wherever you are, take a deep breath. Find 3 things that are available to you right now that could offer a tiny bit of relief. Maybe it's a warm cup of tea. Maybe it's the ability to call a friend. Maybe it's just the fact that you are breathing. That is a resource. When we identify these tools, we are telling our brain, I am not empty-handed. We are beginning to construct our way out. Remember, healing is not a straight line. There will be days when the room feels locked tight. That's okay. It's just information. But please remember this. You possess an incredible capacity for resilience. You are worthy of feeling safe. You are worthy of finding a way out. And you have the power to heal. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please share it. Take a deep breath and take care.